A great way to get started with looping is to work with virtual instruments and do MIDI looping inside of Ableton using some of Ableton's built-in instruments. Let's start by verifying that we have a good MIDI connection from our controller. I'm going to go ahead and hit a few keys on my piano keyboard over here. And as I do so, I'm going to watch the very upper right-hand corner of Ableton's screen. Right here in the very upper right-hand corner is a small box. That's a MIDI activity monitor right there. And you can see that I'm getting a signal. Okay? Next thing I need to do is tell it where I want that signal to go. I want to send it to this very first MIDI track right here. So I'm going to go to the very bottom and I'm going to hit this record arm button. I'm going to go ahead and tap a few more keys and you'll see now that on my screen you can see that the MIDI activity meter for the track is showing I'm getting a good, strong MIDI signal every time I hit that key. Now that I know that I have a good MIDI signal, it's time to go ahead and load up an Ableton instrument. I'm going to use a drum machine first. One of Ableton's drum machines is called Drum Rack. We can go here to Instruments, Drum Rack, and just drop and drag it onto the channel. Now, if you hit some keys right now, you notice you're not getting any sound out of the actual drum machine. We've got to load a kit as well. If you go to your browser where it says Categories, Drums, I want you to go ahead and scroll down to this one here. It's called Kit Core 808. We're going to drop and drag onto that drum rack, and now it loads up. This is going to load up the sounds of one of the most famous drum machines in all of electronic music history, the Roland 808 drum machine. Okay, I've loaded up that drum kit, but when I play a few of the keys over here, I don't hear any sound yet. That's because I'm playing higher than the sounds are in that kit. If I take my finger and I roll down, now I can find the drum sounds. There's only 16 sounds in this kit, so if my keyboard is transposed too high or too low, I'll miss those notes. If you're working on a smaller keyboard, such as a 25-key keyboard, remember you have octave down and up buttons that you can use to shift the position of your keyboard to get it in the correct range. Now that I've found the sounds, let me find my kick, my snare, and my closed hi-hat. Here's the kick, snare, and closed hi-hat. I could do a little warm-up finger drumming like this. Take a minute right now, create a MIDI track, arm it, put that drum rack in there with the Kit Core 808 kit, and get your keyboard transposed to the right range so you can play the sounds. Find your kick, your snare, and your hi-hat, and I want you to do a little finger drumming to warm up your fingers for the next exercise.